welcome to the one city in the world that really lives up to its hype. Look at that.
An in-your-face city of extremes. It's crazy, non-stop and romantic, all at the same time.
Well, welcome to travel.co.nz, and there's absolutely no prizes for guessing where we are today.
NYC, it's where I want to be. New York City.
It's fantastic. I've seen it in pictures, I've seen it everywhere, but being in the middle of it right here is just gobsmackingly huge. It's fantastic.
It claims to be like the capital of the world. This city is completely full of itself and it has 35 million visitors a year, so there must be stuff to do.
That's a lot of people coming through this place every year. We know it's going to be expensive, but we're going to check it out from the low end, which is quite expensive, to the high end, which is just ridiculous.
Really expensive, and I am going to toss a coin. I have a brand new gold greenback dollar.
This will decide
who goes
does
high
what.
end and who goes cheap. Now,
okay.
You're going to call?
Yep.
What's your call?
You have to throw it first. I call heads high end.
Woohoo!
It is. All right, mate. Well, I guess I'll be off to somewhere really expensive.
Taxi!
Hang on to that dollar.
First stop, 42nd and Broadway. Times Square is safe, but it's pretty touristy. There's something about New York that New Zealanders absolutely love. And I've been trying to figure out while I'm here, why do I love the city? And I think it's because it doesn't really feel too much like America. And at the same time, it's so busy. It's happening, you can do anything. It's open 24 hours. Even walking in New York is exciting. Oh, sorry. Okay. Wrong way. You don't need money to be entertained. You can just stand on a street corner. Groovy, baby, yeah.
So I'm guessing there's not any particular secret to hailing a cab in New York City, but then again, I don't know. I guess you'd kind of stand out and try not to get run over, but look like you want to go somewhere at the same time.
And where I want to go is Midtown Manhattan, a hotel called the Waldorf Astoria. It's Art Deco, it's famous, and it's been the hotel of choice to every US president since Roosevelt.
Welcome to the Waldorf Astoria on Park Avenue, one of New York's premier addresses. That's where I'll be spending the next 3 days. It's pretty wow. And this is it, my suite.
A night at the Waldorf Astoria will cost you between 500 and 18,000 New Zealand dollars.
This is serious opulence. The guy in the lift told me that the Pope has stayed here, which is nice. The view is amazing. The UN has peace talks in this very room. And this is where I'm staying. You want to see the bedroom? Yep. Springy bed, it's good. The whole thing is nice. I just feel like I don't want to touch anything.
The hardest thing to do on a budget in NYC is find a bed. Don't be confused by the lack of hostels, as they're often called hotels or single-room occupancies. Only way you can stay cheaper in New York is to bring a pile of your mates and all share a room like this. Then you could get it down to about 20 bucks a night, US. Pretty Miami, the decor, eh? 7 private bathrooms on each floor, and they've been recently renovated, so, you know, good and clean, but hip.
Oh, yes. Not bad at all. I think if I can't look good after a session in here for my do tonight, then I never will.
This is the wrong city to be on a budget. But I'm armed. I've got a Metro card, $4 I can ride on the subway and the buses all day. I've got a good pair of walking shoes, because I'm going to be using them, and I've got a shopping map. Okay, so a girl can dream, can't she? Just shut up about it. A window shop. Like, for me, the subway is synonymous with New York, and it's the best way to get around cheaply and efficiently, and I think it's pretty safe. 4 million people use it every day.
Well, a trip to New York City wouldn't be complete without checking out the art scene, and to do it properly, I've roped Kiwi dealer Gary Langsford into taking me to an opening at the Mary Boone Gallery in Chelsea, which is a hotspot for NYC art.
Mary Boone, I hear she's a little, out there.
Mary?
Yeah.
Something about Mary?
Something about her. All right, we'll have to see what's going on.
Here we are.
Well, the only thing I've ever heard about Mary is that she went to jail a couple of years ago for handing out live ammunition at one of her shows.
Cultured. Wow. It's a big space.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
Who's this? Who have we got going
This
on
is
here?
Ross Bleckner.
Yep.
Yep. Ross is a New York-based artist. He's shown with Mary for a long time, actually.
And he's big, right?
He's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, man of the art world, what's it saying to you?
What's it saying to me? It says, buy me, buy me.
What are these works likely to set one back if they were ready for sale?
They would set you back 175,000 US.
Wow, $500,000 NZ?
It's reasonable in New York, but expensive in New Zealand.
It is pretty expensive.
Now, the colourful, if a little crusty Lower East Side is one of the few places left to have escaped ex-Mayor Giuliani's clean-up of everything, including street art. It's quite hard to find graffiti in New York these days, but I was told by this guy that in the 70s, you couldn't see out of the subway windows to see what stop you were at because the whole train was painted. But I have heard, I was looking on the net before I came, and I've heard that there's this guy called Stash, and he now does graffiti t-shirts, which cost a lot of money, but maybe I could get one. Stash was one of New York's most infamous subway bombers before he went legit.
Painting a train, there's nothing like that. There's no thrill, really, that can compare to, like, sneaking out of it. Because I was very young, you know? It was like an amazing period that was going on in New York, and then it spread worldwide, and then some people were like, wow, you ran on trains, you're white, isn't it just the ghetto? And people had no clue.
Yeah.
And it was really great being, like, part of that whole movement and just doing what I did.
I don't have much money on me, but I mean, that's beautiful. What if I wanted to buy that?
I would say it could go for maybe $3,500. Myself, depending on the individual and how, for you, you know, we could work something out.
Okay. Of course, if I can't afford one on canvas, I could get one in cotton at Stash's groovy store, Recon. Do you have any t-shirts for girls? Oh,
Some
cool.
ladies' sizes, shirts.
Okay, I quite like this one. Can I try it on?
No, you can't. You can't try it on.
Why not?
Because I want to keep all our stuff crisp and new, and I don't want the collar stretched out.
Do you get a discount if you wanted to buy 4?
No.
Okay. Coming up, I check out this town's leading lady.
And I sampled the NY cuisine scene.
Day 2 in downtown Manhattan. Now, I may not have the cash this time round, but that's not going to stop me pounding the streets and sailing the harbour. Oh, Statue of Liberty. First time I've seen it. This was the first sight of America for 12 million immigrants nearly 100 years ago. This is the Staten Island Ferry, and basically it goes from downtown New York City, Battery Park, over to Staten Island and back. Takes about 25 minutes. Best of all, it's free. 0 cents. And now I get to play real tourist, get to see the Statue of Liberty. Pretty good looking, isn't it?
Yes, great. Beautiful day. Temperature's just right.
Yeah.
And there's just enough activity in the harbor. Over 30 years of riding this boat, I never get tired of looking at the Statue of Liberty.
Why? Because it means liberty or because it's good looking?
Well, because it means liberty.
Really?
It means so much to so many people. It represents what we can aspire to. And so that's what America's all about.
Wow, I've got a real live American here. This is fantastic.
That's right. Card carrying. Want to see my card?
Honestly, the locals are stupidly friendly in this town. It's fantastic. And I found the bargain of the century. Best sightseeing trip I've ever been on in New York City. For free.
Well, with a mission to avoid the tourist traps in this town, I've decided to come and check out where the locals do their shopping. New York City is incredibly diverse, and in no area is that diversity better measured than in its cuisine. This is the Green Market in Union Square, where most of the top 5-star restaurants around the city get their ingredients. And somewhere around here, I'm meeting a food critic called Stephen Shaw, who's going to lead me onto my foray into the world of the gourmet. So Stephen, you're a lawyer turned food critic. New York City must be one of the best cities in the world to be a food critic.
Oh, it certainly is. I think it's much better to be a food critic than to be a lawyer. Well, there are 20,000 restaurants in New York City representing almost 200 different ethnic groups, and I find that a lot more interesting than practicing law.
I can hear that.
You could eat at a different restaurant every day of your life, and you'd never even catch up with the new openings.
Wow.
That's why you have to eat a lot, like I do. Obviously, I've done that.
It's a good goal, though, isn't it? Just spending the next kind of 40, 50 years just eating somewhere different every time.
It's terrific, and you never get bored.
So Stephen, I've only got a couple of days here. I've got a bit of money to spend. What would you recommend for a new kind of fantastic New York eating experience?
You want to walk right that way, about 3 blocks. Go to a new restaurant called Craft.
Yeah.
Chef is Tom Colicchio, and he knows what to do with all these ingredients.
Fantastic. That sounds good, man.
Huge pretzels. They're on every street corner here. Amazing to survive. $1.50 to $2 depending on where you get them. And they're disgusting. I mean, they're super salty, slightly dry, and then they go and put mustard on them. I'm gonna go and check out something a little bit more, you know, a delicacy. One of the best things about Manhattan is that it's so contained. If you're keen, you can pretty much walk anywhere. I'm in the Lower East Side. Chinatown, China Quarter is over there, Little Italy's over there somewhere, but I'm in the Jewish Quarter right now. And you've got to do it. I'm in New York. That's what you got to do. Russ and Daughters, we'd call it a delicatessen, but here it's called an appetizer.
Actually, we call this appetizing as opposed to deli. We don't call it deli here at all.
Okay.
Delicatessen connotes, in this town, meat products, corned beef, pastrami, salami. And in the old days, there was a separation, a clear separation between meat products and dairy products because of Jewish kosher law.
So you're Russ and Daughters appetizing?
We're Russ and Daughters Appetizing. Joel Russ is the founder, my grandfather, and the daughters are my mother and aunts.
Brilliant. Yay. He's the son of one of the daughters. He's the son of one of the daughters. Wow. Where do you start? I just have a taste of everything in the shop and I can eat for free. They might suspect, of course. Would I be allowed to taste a little bit of that?
Yeah.
Oh, this is afternoon tea. Cool, man. Jewish food rocks. I'm back to the cream herring. I'm sorry. I've got to get rid of that.
Did you taste the salmon on the bagel and lox? Did you have it?
I haven't had a bagel and lox.
Well, that's what we ought to do.
That's what I should have, isn't it?
Well, that's probably the most traditional thing that goes out of this shop.
This is a bit of me. I'm staying in New York.
On the advice of Stephen the food critic, I'm here on Park Ave and Broadway.
This is Craft. It's new, it's hip, and the doors are heavy. Always a sign of quality.
Tom Colicchio, Craft's owner, is also one of New York's top 10 chefs.
So Tom, what's exciting about the New York food scene?
Well, I think that we get the best of all the products here. We have a great dining public and a real vibrant community, restaurant community, and that's what's really exciting.
Is there any particular etiquette in the scene? Is there anything I should and shouldn't do? Is there, you know?
No. I think one thing you shouldn't do is try to bribe a maitre d' to get a table. A lot of restaurants kind of frown on that these days. If you do not have a reservation and you're trying to get a table in one of the better restaurants in town, and you can't get a reservation, show up. Especially if it's only 2 people, show up because usually we have between 20 and 30 no-shows every evening.
Right.
So we're looking to fill those seats. So we may ask you to wait 15 minutes, but if you show up, you'll probably get a table.
Yeah, show up and get a table with your mate if you fancy spending $500 on lunch.
There you go, I'll share that one with you.
Well, can you eat the shells on this?
Oh yeah, shells and all.
Yeah, really?
Oh yeah.
Nice work. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's nice, man. That's very good. I'm glad I got the high end. My friend's in a backpacker's hostel right now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm definitely coming back for dinner.
Tonight I'm going out. Girl on a budget, still can have fun, and I'm in Harlem as we speak. Look around. As an independent woman who wants to do some exploring at night, I've found that booking a walking tour on the web is the way to get insider access. It's a very exciting place, and I'd really want to come here, but is it safe for me to come here on my own?
I would say so, definitely. Like any place, you want to use your wits and employ common sense, but it's not the way that they make it out in the movies. It's not like Boys in the Hood or New Jack City or any of those films that make this community seem like some ghetto land, crazy place filled with crime and deprivation. Not that way.
Oh. Now that's a really famous theater in front of us, isn't it?
The Apollo?
Yeah.
Forget about it. Wednesday nights, amateurs go on stage there and they do their thing for the audience. The audience is the biggest part of the show, Petra.
Yeah.
Because if you go up there and they like you, yeah Petra, way to go, fantastic. The singing is beautiful.
Yeah.
But Petra, if they don't like you, forget about it, you're dead. Boo, boo, boo and
So
the
it's
booze.
more dangerous in the theatres than on the streets.
It's more dangerous in that theater than on the street if you're not a good actor.
If you're not a good, well, then they don't want me on stage. I can't sing to save myself.
Oh, okay.
I'd be
Good.
dead.
You're asking the wrong person. He knows very little. He just got here. He was born yesterday.
For a second there, I thought I was back in the 1930s. This place is the most famous ballroom in the country, the Starlight Roof here at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. The scene of the first ever on-location movie shot in the States. Also, Frank Sinatra, Cole Porter, Duke Ellington, they've all played here.
But tonight, I'm in the room by myself. No big act on, so instead I'm going to lose myself in the bright lights of Broadway, in the proverbial city that never sleeps.
Okay, this is the part of the tour I've been waiting for. The jazz clubs playing tonight at Robin's Nest. Preacher Robin. I'm having a great time. There's a jazz band playing out back. That would cost me $32.50 US. But this is called a Green Gator. The barman made it up. It's 150 proof, and it only sent me back $10. I'm having a good time. Let's face it, warm-hearted locals is the understatement of the century. Preacher Robin, or as the locals would say, Preacher Robin, is the greatest. I feel really privileged to be in Harlem.
After the break, I check out a room with a view.
And I get some NYPD action. I slept pretty well last night for $27, which is as cheap a bed as you're going to find in New York. Basically, this hostel's called Park View because you get a view of the park, but the traffic noise is pretty intense, and the area's called... Amy, what's this area?
Central Park North.
Central Park North. There's no time to waste. Just across the road from the hostel, North Central Park used to be a really dodgy area, murders and all sorts of things. Now there's a huge police presence. They've cleaned the place up. Just lots of kids and families wandering around, and the vibe is so great. It's just, you know, people hanging out. Safe as houses, that's how it feels. Lovers in the park.
The Upper East Side, it's where the expensive places are, and if I lived here permanently, I'd need an apartment, a fancy one.
So how important is the right address to a New Yorker?
It's important. It's important. If you're in a good co-op or condo building, the place that you live is sort of your visiting card.
So they're quite big windows. What about
They're very
privacy?
big.
I mean, you know.
Well, it's very interesting in New York. People don't seem to look out the window at people. But because of the density that people live out here, you just get used to not looking into other people's windows.
Sure.
Unless you're dead set about doing it.
Right, unless it's
The other thing that is important in these buildings, everyone seems to want an exercise room, quasi a health club.
Okay. Yeah.
So there is, in fact, here quite a large room with machines, and you can come with your personal trainer or your masseuse or something.
Nice kitchen.
Yeah, the kitchens are getting larger and the people are cooking less. I've actually sold apartments 2 and 3 times where the people said, oh, you didn't tell me that there was plastic in the oven. And I said, what do you mean plastic? The instructions had never been removed.
Is that right?
That's right.
So one night you gotta cook
3
up the
owners,
rest.
nobody ever lit the oven, you know.
As far as bachelor pads go, I can't think of one that would be much better, although Patricia tells me that if you don't like this one for 10 million New Zealand dollars, the one on the top floor is for sale for over 50 million, which is pretty crazy. Good view from the Dunny, 360 degrees of New York City. You really get a feeling of the place.
You know how you watch the news and the shooting always happens somewhere else? Well, a couple of blocks away from where I'm staying, I'm watching the news this morning. It turns out this guy ran over a guy on a construction site. He fled from LA. The police have been chasing him for 6 months. They catch up with him in New York. He's about to check into the hotel. The cops are all there waiting. He shoots the cop. The cop's wearing a bulletproof vest. The cop shoots the guy back. He's dead. Right in there. It happened this morning in there. How safe are we? Ooh. 15, and what do you see?
Cops everywhere, motorcycles, bicycles, running, cars, ambulances, just practically everything came to a stop. It was pretty bad.
Do you think New York City's very safe?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were here within 30 seconds. No joke. 30 seconds, a swarm of cops.
Really?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
But what about the 5 guys who got shot a couple of blocks up? I saw on the news this morning.
Yeah, well, things happen everywhere, you know?
Yeah. Getting a good look at Lady Liberty?
Yeah, getting a good amount of grease around my eyes from the 30 million tourists that come through every year.
I think I might have got closer to her than you did.
You may well have. How did you enjoy your time? How's NYC?
I love New York City. It's one of my favorite cities in the world.
It is pretty fantastic,
Yourself?
isn't it? I had a great time. I don't want to go home, actually.
Really?
How did you manage it on a budget?
Honestly, it's not that hard because for Kiwis, everything's really interesting. You see a police officer in the street and you're like, oh, like NYPD Blue, and you sneeze and people go, bless you. Would you like a coffee? Can I tell you what to do?
Well, we never said New York was cheap, and if you've got stupid money to spend, you could do it like this. Waldorf Astoria, 10 grand a night. All in all, I spent about 33,000 New Zealand dollars.
Ouch. Well, I wanted to spend less than $900, but I did get some cool stuff, and I've clocked up some air points for my next trip.
Make like our friend Petra here and log on to the travel.co.nz website to find out lots of New York City information. Or, if you're already tempted by what you've seen us doing here, here's a special New York offer to get you going.
Fly to New York, stay 5 nights at the Ramada Milford Plaza with a free New York City pass from only $3,849 per person ex-Auckland, or for an extra $157 from Wellington or $275 from Christchurch. Plus, get a budget rental car from only $168 per day.
And that's not all. If New York's not top of your list, then check out this week's exclusive travel offer.
Fly to Queenstown. Pay for 3 nights at the Novotel Queenstown and get the 4th free. Also includes a Skyline gondola ticket from only $799 per person from Auckland and $655 per person from Wellington. See the website or this week's new idea for details.
Now, doing it yourself online often means you can get better prices. Go through the travel.co.nz site for a look around travelfree.co.nz.
It's very easy. You're only ever 4 clicks away from making your very own travel booking. And you have the chance to win free travel like these guys. Time for us to bid farewell to New York. I'm certainly going to miss the place.
So am I. But next week, we're in
Kyoto.
So we'll see you there.
Fantastic. See you later.
Goodbye. It's a little bit like pate and a little bit like dog food. What's this?
That's mine.
Okay, fine. No, fine. Can't try the t-shirts on. Don't touch his stuff.
Okay, one more thing. I just meant to ask you, where's the wine and cheese?
And that's not all.
Excuse me.
Sorry, my co-host is just a smelly old man. This program was brought to you by Global Plus, the fastest way to earn air points, travel.co.nz and Air New Zealand.